Isn't it true that you reported you had mild pain in your left arm and
No,
shoulder?
I heard that gentleman say that before. I couldn't believe it. I told you that I had severe burning pain down the outer part of my arm. I never used the word mild pain. So I don't know where they got that from, but that's not what I said.
Range of motion, comma, mild pain.
That's what it says, but that's not what I said.
Hey, welcome back. Welcome. Hope you're having a great day. Happy birthday to all my Geminis. This is your season. Make sure you are having fun. Leave us a comment below and let us know when your day is. Speaking of comments below, don't forget to let me know where you are watching from. I love to see you guys from all around the world. Shout out to you. So today's episode, we are going to see if Charlie and Wendy get their alleged lying ways from their mother, as the people down south say, if they get it from they mama. Remember when Donna told Wendy to make sure that she put on the performance of a lifetime when she got on that stand, not knowing that she may have to actually put on her own performance? Well, today we're going to see just how well Donna did on stand.
Isn't it true that you hoped that you could get to the airport before you were arrested?
I wasn't afraid of being arrested.
What were you trying to get to the airport in time for?
So my husband actually had said, you know, we've been to Vietnam before. I couldn't think straight. I really couldn't think straight. I was so upset, and so was he. And it was his idea. He said, sweetheart, let's go, just get away. We're going to just get away somewhere so we can have some time to think.
But when you were afraid of being arrested right after Charlie Adelson's trial, isn't it true that you hoped that you could get to the airport before you were arrested?
I wasn't afraid of being arrested.
What were you trying to get to the airport in time for? In that jail
My
cell?
My husband and I were literally shocked and traumatized at what had happened to Charlie. And he said, we need to just get some peace. We need to catch our breath. We're going to go away somewhere. And I thought it was a good idea.
Okay, so your testimony is that you weren't trying to go to Vietnam because you wouldn't be able to be extradited from there.
So my husband actually had said, you know, he said, if we go to a non-extradition country, then if the law enforcement decided that they wanted to arrest you or me, whatever, both, he said, we won't be sitting in a foreign prison waiting months to go back. We could buy a ticket and we can go home. And my understanding was that I could go home and I could turn myself in if that's what they wanted.
Okay, but you were hoping to make it out of America in time before you were arrested, right?
I wanted to get away. He wanted to get away.
Right. The first incident that took place in the shower, could you just briefly describe to the judge what happened there?
Yeah. So I always, there's 7 shower heads, but I always take the same one because it's off in a corner, so I have a little bit more privacy than you'd have at the other ones, and so I would always shower there. And I was under the shower and I was washing my hair. So I was washing my hair, and all of a sudden I felt a hand go up my back, like from the top of my butt up my back, and I yelled, "Stop it!" and I turned, and this girl said, "You like it?" And I said, "Get out of here!" And I started to scream, and she ran.
Okay. The next thing I want to talk about is what transpired in October of, October of 2024.
I was in the bathroom. It's 10:30 at night. I went in to brush my teeth, and I'm a righty, so I was holding my toothbrush with my right hand, and I was balancing myself with my left hand on the sink. I was just brushing my teeth. That's all I was doing.
And what happened?
And someone came up behind me and pulled my left hand away from the sink and twisted my arm and like jerked it behind my back, like reaching up toward my neck.
Okay.
And
did it hurt?
Yeah, it hurt.
Okay. What happened?
It hurt. And I said, "What are you doing?" And she's, in the same breath that she did that with my arm, she said, "You're going to buy me commissary." I said, "I'm going to what?" And she said, "Unless you want those pretty white teeth knocked out of your mouth, you're going to buy me commissary." So I said, okay. And then she named a package that she wanted, and she's out. She was gone. She just that fast.
Okay. How bad?
Kind of stood there for a minute, and then I just thought, okay, I'm gonna go back to my bunk. And I went back to my bunk and I got under the covers and I cried. I just stayed under my covers. I didn't come out.
Okay. And I know that you don't want to talk about who did this to you, because why? Why don't you want to disclose who it was?
There's one thing I've learned since I'm there is you don't, and the word is snitch, you don't snitch, you don't tell on anyone because you'll be sorry you did. And I've seen that. And so,
approximately how tall would you say she is compared to you?
she's over 6 feet, she's over 200 pounds. She's
Okay.
a very large woman.
Okay. Were you afraid of her?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, I was after that.
Okay. And you said that she demanded that you were going to start getting her weekly commissary. Did you do that?
Yes.
Okay. Let me, can I have just one moment, Judge?
Go ahead.
Sidebar, how do you guys think she's doing so far? She's breaking down, but then she also giggles at times. She goes back and forth when she's explaining. Leave a comment below. What do you guys think about Donna's skills on stand? We will remember that Donna is being charged in masterminding taking the life of her son-in-law because he wanted to spend more time with them. She allegedly wanted her daughter to have the children all to herself. Now Donna doesn't have access to her daughter, her grandchildren, her husband, or no one. Are we watching Donna unknowingly implicate Harvey? And the one golden question we all have, will she turn and flip on Wendy? Donna is missing her luxury lifestyle back home. Let's see how the rest of this performance goes.
In fact, was there an occasion where another girl came and knocked on your door wanting you to give her food?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Yes, okay. And what happened when you said you would give her food?
I said I have all that extra food. I don't mind giving it to people.
Okay.
So,
And so how were you going to give it to her?
well, that's what I said to her. How am I going to get this to you? And so she gave the guard a high sign, and the guard buzzed the door open, and it was her and a friend of hers, the two of them, and they'd only stepped in my room like a foot, came in, and I gave them some soups. Listen, I know older people don't need as much sleep as younger people, but I need more than 2 hours a night. I need more than a good night is 3. One night I had 3.5 hours. It's not enough sleep to stay focused. I mean, I feel like I'm foggy sometimes because I just am sleepy, I'm tired, and I can't go to sleep. They've got people screaming and yelling. They bang on the doors, they shake the doors. It sounds like a drum in there. It's horrible. So I can't sleep with all that noise going on. And
Okay. Do you have
Sidebar, FYI, Donna lost her tablet in prison for allegedly inappropriately communicating with people on the outside with her attorney's phone, trying to get people hurt, like witnesses, including her oldest son, who is rumored to be testifying against her at her trial.
I want to talk to you for just a second. You're able to make calls to your lawyers off of your tablet, correct?
Yes.
And those are supposed to be attorney-client privilege calls, correct?
Yes.
Okay, and they're not recorded according to what's said on the recording when you make the calls, is that
That's
right?
right. That's
Okay.
right.
During the time that you were in the annex, were you in a situation where you could be away from everybody so that you could make those calls without anyone hearing?
No, I had to make the calls under my blanket because you couldn't hear me. I certainly couldn't hear you. So I would go under my blanket with the tablet and I would call you that way.
That didn't keep the other inmates who were standing right next to you from hearing.
It is what it is.
Okay, was there a time when you and I were speaking and when you pulled the cover back there was actually a guard there listening to your call?
Yes, there was.
Okay. And during the time that you and I are having conversations, do you also experience the same kind of problems with the phone that you had heard that Charlie had while talking to you, where the calls are dropped, etc.?
We've had it numerous times.
Okay. Are there times where we're not able to hear each other on the phone calls?
Yes.
Is there static on the phone calls?
It's static, and now you've been complaining because I have this shortness of breath, so you say I'm breathing very heavy, and it's hard to hear me.
Okay.
So it's difficult.
Text messages that were exchanged between yourself and Catherine McVanoa on the morning after this exchange of money were inconsistent with your extortion theory.
They were inconsistent with how I was feeling.
They don't appear to look like you just gave her $138,000 under duress, do they?
She told me the last thing she said to me before she left the house is, can we just pretend like this never even happened? So when I sent her that message, I was trying to show her, like, trying to forget all about it.
So the text messages aren't what they appear to be. It's a beautiful day, I'm going to the pool, I'm going to the beach, I'm going to the gym. None of that is what it appears to be. It's something else.
I absolutely did not go to the gym. I was trying to show her that I was, pretending like nothing ever happened and looking past it.
And there's
But
nothing on the wire. All those hours of you talking, there is nothing on the wire about the extortion, this layer 1 of extortion, because she told you not to talk about it, right?
She told me to never talk about anything to anyone or her.
But nowhere, even in the midst of this whole second extortion, it's happening again. It's an extension of the same thing. Do you mention anything about this layer 1 of the extortion? Do you?
Yes, actually I did.
Okay.
If you pull up the video from Matsuri when I was sitting with my dad and I said, and the funny thing is, that's what I whispered in his ear.
Right, but we can't hear that.
Right, because that's my point. I never wanted anybody to hear what had happened. I never wanted the police to come talk to me.
The only time you mention the extortion, it's in a whisper that is not picked up by the microphones, right?
Intentionally, yes.
Yes. And that was intentional at the time, but it sucks for your defense, right? Because that would be a huge piece of evidence for you to show this jury, wouldn't it?
No, I think you'd come up with a reason why that I said. What I was saying to Katie is that the information she had just told me in the car about Sigfredo not being there when the crime was committed, she told me that Sigfredo was high on drugs at the hotel and that Luis had rented a car and that he's the one who killed Dan. And I'm restating to her that I don't have any knowledge of what went on, and that all I know is that Sigfredo wasn't even there when this happened. So that's what I'm restating to her.
That Sigfredo can't be caught even if he's connected to the crime, to the car?
I know that Sigfredo wasn't the one who killed Dan.
Okay. Wouldn't it be good for you, because you know now that Sigfredo is the extortionist, right? She just told you that in the car?
Sigfredo, yeah.
Okay. And wouldn't it be good for you if the police investigation into the Prius led to the arrest of the killers/extortionists?
If they arrested the people who killed Dan,
Yeah.
I know the extortion would stop. As long as I kept my mouth shut, I'd be safe.
Right. So why are you trying to argue to her that, like, the car is not going to lead anywhere, they're not going to be able to do anything with the car?
That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying that I know that Sigfredo wasn't the one who killed him.
Did you say on this recording, if they're a bad guy, there's two ways of dealing with it? Go ahead and contact the police. They'll contact him, the blackmailer, and arrange a setup. Take him down, and he'll proffer 10 years, and now tell us everything you know, or else you're going to serve 10 years in prison. Next thing you know, this person is singing. He's calling out your name. My parents are going to have to tell the story of what happened. Singing about what? About the extortion?
No, I think you're reading it wrong.
What would they have to sing about?
The second extortion would be singing and talking about the first extortion, where they learned their information from.
Who cares? That doesn't have anything to do with you.
Well, when they catch the first extortion, Katie's tied to them and I'm tied to Katie. They're going to come talk to us, and we're going to be in danger when we tell them what happened.
You gave very precise instructions to Catherine McBanois on what she was to say when she calls the phone number, right?
Yeah,
Did you do that?
Absolutely.
And then you say, quote, "You'd better kill him because he's going to be a big problem. And he knows who you are. If he can't do it, I'll have someone else do it." Aren't you telling her that if Garcia can't handle this problem and kill whoever's behind this, you will have someone else do it?
You're reading it totally wrong.
It's a yes or no question, sir.
No.
Okay, so how do you guys think Charlie's doing so far? Now remember, Charlie claims that this was all a bad joke. It was all a bad joke about a TV that he wanted to get for Wendy, saying that a TV is cheaper than a divorce, right? Rest in peace to Dan Markel. Sidebar, everyone here on the photo looks so different now, from Charlie to Donna to Sigfredo to Luis. Luis was chubby. Look at Luis. Catherine, she looks different. Wendy, she still kind of looks the same. Are you guys hoping to see Wendy on the stand in trial soon as well, after Donna? Or Harvey next? Who do you guys think will be next? If anyone, or do you think it was all solely Donna's idea alone? Let's get back to Charlie.
Remember yesterday saying you were telling a story about Katie coming in from having had some kind of altercation with Garcia, and she had reported that the necklace had been pulled off her neck. Do you remember that?
Yes, I do.
You said he roughed her up.
That's accurate.
And that put my antenna up, because that roughed them up is the exact same phrase that Catherine McBanois said in her proffer that you used on Halloween 2013 when you first approached her about, does she know anyone who can rough someone up?
No, I think getting roughed up is an adjective, but what you're doing is the same thing you did with your TV theory. Is like you heard TV mentioned multiple times, so you put the whole case together with the TV.
Okay,
and
we'll
you're
get
putting
to
the whole
TV.
case together with the word roughed up. Like,
Yeah, I mean, I'm not putting the whole case together.
One moment. Don't speak over each other.
But that's
Please wait for him to answer, then you can ask your next question.
What did she mean when she said Dan Markel was trying to take her sunshines away? Do you know?
My mom never said that.
Did your mom refer to the children as her sunshines?
No, the kids were 3 and 4. A 3 and 4-year-old can't repeat a conversation and remember words 6 hours later and repeat it accurately. I have a 5-year-old son. Never seen a 3 and 4-year-old do that. So it was made up, and now you're repeating it.
Okay, now did Wendy tell on Charlie? Let's see how good Charlie does at defending his little sister.
I'm talking about the murder of Dan Markel. She knew something, right? I mean, it's not a coincidence she went to the crime scene, is it?
She never went to the crime scene. She was going to buy a bottle of liquor that, coincidentally, the person sent her a stock the bar party for buy a bottle of Bullet bourbon that she was going to pick up. She wasn't driving to a crime scene.
She exposed you all to some degree by those actions, didn't she?
No, not at all.
And then she threw you under the bus in her interview, didn't she?
Nobody knew a murder was going to take place.
She knew her husband had just been shot, and they were asking her, who would want him dead, and she said your name. Are you mad about that?
No, she said a lot of people's names.
Well, she
Not at
said
all.
yours in the first 25 pages of a 5-hour interview. Are you mad that Wendy hasn't been charged and you have?
No, I'm mad that I got charged for a crime that I didn't commit.
Do you have any innate anger with Wendy over that fact?
No, no.
Purpose of keeping Katie happy. Was she gonna sick the Latin Kings on you if you made her unhappy?
She was protecting me. I didn't know what would happen, and she was keeping my mind, like when the extortion never went up, and I just assumed, I thought that she wasn't part of it, and she was protecting me.
I mean, you're complying with everything they've asked you to do, right?
I'm doing everything that was asked to do, and yeah.
So why reach out and say, hey, can I get you a trip to Key West to go with that extortion money?
I never said, can I get you a trip to Key West?
Do you recall all those conversations?
Oh yeah, for sure. I was trying to do nice things for her.
And then did you pay for a trip or offer to pay for a trip to Santo Domingo for Catherine Magbanua and Sigfredo Garcia to visit his parents?
I didn't know who she was going with, but I paid for, you're talking about airline tickets?
Yes.
Yeah.
Did you offer to buy Catherine Magbanua and her mom a cruise?
Yes, Katie had mentioned to me that she always wanted to be able to take her mom on a cruise.
Well, why couldn't they just come put a gun to your head and say, give me all the money in your safe?
Thank God they didn't.
Charlie has allegedly been catching a lot of heat in prison from the Latin Kings for allegedly hiring them for a job and then turning on them and testifying against the organization. I guess there really is no honor amongst thieves. This explains this clip where Lewis saw Charlie for the first time, where he literally was buffering in real life, staring at him for about 30 seconds straight. I mean, I can't imagine what was going through his mind at this time. What about Charlie? He's just sitting there squirming. And now he'll be in fear for the rest of his life, every day of his life, all because Dan wanted to be a part of his children's lives.
Thank God they didn't.
Thank God they didn't. I would have gotten killed.
If Garcia hated you, why would he drive to Tallahassee twice to kill someone you hated?
It sounds like he was part of the extortion, or Katie put him up to it.
I still don't get how killing Dan Markel advances the ball for them to extort money out of you. Do you?
Yeah, I have a theory. They could extort me for life, and I don't think they knew exactly how much I had in the safe. She knew I had a lot of money in the safe. But this way I could get extorted for life, and that's what happened. And I was stuck paying $3,000 a month.
But you could have gotten extorted for life just by the threat of death by Latin King, couldn't you, Doctor?
I mean, this was as real of a threat as you get. I mean, these guys aren't messing around.
All right, you didn't report this after Garcia was arrested, did you? Did not report this after Garcia's arrest?
No, not at all.
Okay, you did keep paying Catherine Magbanua after Garcia's arrest?
No, I never saw her again.
Did not report this after Magbanua's arrest, correct?
Correct.
Did not testify in either of their trials, correct?
Was never contacted to, but yes.
You were okay with the possibility of them getting away with killing Dan Markel.
I thought the truth was going to come out in 2019.
How, if the witness who knows something doesn't come forward?
Katie knows what happens and knows I was extorted, and her trial was in 19, and I was expecting the truth to come out then. And instead, I found out that she was having this affair with him on me, and she lied, and all this money was going to her.
So if her defense had been, I was an innocent conduit to an extortion, you would have backed her up on that?
If she would have come in and told the truth, and yeah, for sure.
Georgia is like the ADELSON slayer, right? Knocking them out one at a time. If you made it this far, I love you all. Take care. See you next time. Bye.